training for this morning, so please bear with me as I'm learning the system. So let's begin the service by singing Vandana Tisarana together in both Pali and English.
Namo tassa
Thank you, and we will now sing the Gatha, Gasho with Amida. The words will also be shown on the screen. Chanting will be followed by quiet meditation.
the clear bright morning sun, in the fading light of day, in the darkness of the night, I must show with Aliyah. Namo Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. This great power guides my life. I must show with Aliyah. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining a break in mind. We are born in the land of Namanda, it's Namanda, it's Namanda. Let's sit together quietly for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. If you're able, sit forward in your seat and place both feet flat on the ground. Sit up straight and align your head, neck, shoulders, and back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands underneath in your lap. Now close your eyes and just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. In and out. As you breathe in, you'll feel energy filling your body. And as you breathe out, any stress or worries in your mind just fade away. Just breathe. Sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation. Namanda, Vitsanamanda, Vitsanamanda, Vitsanamanda.
On the first Sunday of each month,
Oh, second line.
Oh, wrong one. We will now have offering of incense at this time. Okay, we will now begin.
The music was
offering.
supposed to be there. I added it in because it gets kind of boring.
Now you tell us.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you, everyone. Let's all recite the golden chain of love together. Let us begin.
I believe in the Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amita's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida.
And now it's children's Dharma story time.
Live from Makawao, it's Children's Dharma Story Time, starring Barkley the dog and Lucy the ladybug with special guests, Green Snoopy and Kermit the Gosh Yellow Frog. Beha! Good morning, aloha kakayaka, ohayo gozaimasu. It's me, Barkley the dog. How y'all doing this fine Sunday morning? I hope you're feeling well and doing fine. Mahalo for joining us here in Makawao town on the beautiful island of Maui in the great state of Hawaii. Good morning, aloha kako. Aloha for everyone. I'm so happy to see all of you this morning. Barkley, let's put on our super cool magic glasses from Maui Optics and see who's here with us this morning. Well, that was a great idea, Lucy. Let's see. I can see Kalana and Towers, Tori and Benji, and Lena and Kava, and Kai and Emmy and Micah and Nolan, and Cora and Illinois, Meliana, Kenneth, Lindsay, Sierra, and Wesley, and Patty in Colorado, and Melody, and Cadence in Honolulu, and Sensei buddies around the world. Ooh, wait, we have mahalo, thank you, obrigado. Thanks to all of your kindness, we have a great story today. I That's right, Lucy. It's one of Sensei's favorite stories. And it's called Brown Bear, What Do You See? By Bill Martin Jr. Pictures by Eric Carle. Brown Bear, What Do You See? By Bill Martin Jr. Pictures by Eric Carle. Brown Bear, what do you see? I see a red bird looking at me. Red bird, what do you see? I see a yellow duck looking at me. Yellow duck, what do you see? I see a blue horse looking at me. Blue horse, what do you see? I see a green frog looking at me. Green frog, what do you see? I see a purple cat looking at me. Purple cat, what do you see? I see a white dog looking at me. White dog, what do you see? I see a black sheep looking at me. Black sheep, what do you see? I see a goldfish looking at me. Goldfish, what do you see? I see a teacher looking at me. Teacher, what do you see? I see children looking at me. Children, what do you see? We see a brown bear, a red bird, a yellow duck, a blue horse, a green frog, a purple cat, a white dog, a black sheep, a goldfish, and a teacher looking at us. That's what we see. The end. Okay, the adults got the visual joke on that one, but okay. Okay, Sensei, if you put the puppets on before you turn the page, you can't do it. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Yeah, wasn't that a great story? What part did you like? Really? I love that part too. I loved how everybody saw somebody else looking at them. Just like me. Everyone is always looking at me. Bark like a dog, the rascal dog, the star, the children's Dharma story time. How about you, Lucy? What part did you like? Well, mahalo for asking, Barkley. I loved how each animal was a different color. They're all so beautiful, just as they are, and all together they make a rainbow of animals. Hey, Barkley, what do you say we play that game too? Barkley, what do you see? I see Sensei looking at me. Sensei, what do you see? I see Lucy Ladybug looking at me. Ladybug, what do you see? I see Dharma buddies looking at me. Hey, look, that's a good one. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, Sensei, what do you see? I see Amida Buddha looking at me. I'm looking at you, and you, and you, and you. Amida's always looking after us, always waiting to help if we need it. Namo Amitabutsu. Barkley, what do you see? I see Nichon looking at me. And she's saying, hey, better tell Sensei, get along, mosey along to the Dharma talk for the adults. Okay, fade to black. I was going to say that. Sensei, you forgot something. I forgot something? Yes, you forgot to say, be good, but not too much. Okay, now it's time for the adult Dharma talk. Does anybody else remember that book? I mean, I just came across it this morning. I thought, oh, this is classic. So I've titled this Dharma talk, Amida, what do you see? So be good. Okay. So, Homan, the great teacher of Shinran, is quoted by Shinran in the Kudensho as admonishing a prideful disciple as follows. It's a little bit long, bear with me. A Buddhist teacher must shear 3 kinds of hair: supremacy, profit, and fame. During 3 years you have spent here, you made a written record of key Dharma statements. Returning to your homeland only to treat others as inferior means strutting about with an air of superiority. With such air of superiority, none would regard you as a good student of Buddhism. Such is one seeking fame. Such people seek profit for themselves in the Buddhist community. Only those people shorn of 3 kinds of hair are worthy of being Buddhist teachers. Thus, the advice to you. The wisdom of Honen Shonin, the great teacher of Shinran. Namo Buddhas. So, my jaw dropped when I first read this story. Oh my Buddha, that's me. If I'm totally honest with myself, I realize that I secretly believe I'm smarter and better and more talented than everybody else. That I alone can get this Buddhism stuff. That I can get rich and be famous and become a religious celebrity. I can be the next Dalai Lama. The Buddhist Tony Robbins, that might work. I can be bigger than Jesus, just like the Beatles. And as many of you know, my brain actually thinks like that. I have, as they say, a huge ego. I secretly hope that shaving my head would magically transform me into this kinder, gentler, humbler kind of guy. Sorry to say, it didn't work out that way. I remain a self-centered, self-deluded, intellectually arrogant jerk. And that's just the first thing that I've learned since becoming ordained as a priest. So they do tell you that just because you finish the Tokudo ordination, that's the beginning. It's not the end of anything. It's just the beginning. So my journey has taught me a lot of things. Good morning, I'm Carrie, and I'm an addict. I'm addicted to me, M-E, capital M-E, my ego. My ego is the me that needs to be right all the time, that needs to be smarter, faster, bigger, better, more beautiful, younger, stronger than everybody else. Because isn't that what you get rewarded for? This is America. Fame, fortune, fast cars, your own reality TV show. It's the American dream. It's the American dream. But my journey has also shown me that I'm addicted to the little me, lowercase m-e, the little boy who to this day wishes his daddy was here to hold his hand and protect him from the realities of the real world. So the little me, the little guy who was once actually kind and gentle, trusting and helpful, and cheerful and optimistic. The little me that wanted to truly live the golden chain of love. The little me that I always told myself I could return to that person if I really want to when I have time. Life happened and I went to school. I learned to compete and win, to be assertive, to take leadership, to succeed, to achieve the American dream. But with success, big me got bigger and bigger and bigger, and little me got shoved further and further and further into a corner. So I've learned that the disconnect between who you have to be successful in America and who you truly aspire to be in this unrepeatable life, this is the primary driver of stress and depression, anxiety, alienation, and addiction in modern life. The British journalist Johann Hari says, "The opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection." So Buddhism teaches that we must awaken to this disconnect between the little me and the big me. So if addiction is a manifestation of our self-centered minds, then the treatment for addiction lies in cultivating the other-centered mind and reconnecting with this unrepeatable life. So Buddhism teaches the truth of what I really am. First, the truth of non-self, Atman. There is no me. This just me is what I think, what my ego thinks I am. There's no permanent self. There's no unchanging essence of Carrie. The ego self is an illusion created by my brain. It's a construct that I use to delude myself. Second, Buddhism teaches the truth of codependent origination. causes and conditions. Everything arises from causes and conditions. So me, right, only exists because of others. The separate them is an illusion. There is only us and we. So I'm speaking here to you today only because you, all of you, each one of you, is here listening to me. That's the only reason why I'm speaking. It's because you're here. And I think we saw this illustrated in the story. When we asked each animal, what do you see? They see someone looking at them. Third, the truth of impermanence. Right? Any happiness that is going to be based on my or things, especially my things, fame, fortune, beauty, youth, strength, they cannot, they do not, and they will not last forever. So Mahayana Buddhism, and Jodo Shinshu, Pure Land Buddhism is part of the Mahayana stream, teaches that the cultivation of the compassionate mind, aspiring to alleviate the suffering of other people, of others, other living beings, that this is the key practice in the Bodhisattva life. So the Dalai Lama is often quoted as saying, my practice is kindness. Right? And it's always possible to be kind. So when I was in Sunday school, we learned the Nembutsu or Namo Amida Butsu this way. So Namo is representing the left hand. This is me. I'm alone. I'm afraid. I'm searching for my true home. The right hand, this is Amida, great compassion and wisdom working in our lives. So put together becomes Butsu. So Namo, Amida, Butsu Butsu is the Japanese word for Buddha or Buddhas. The Dharmakaya, the Dharma body, the absolute and infinite reality. So this is me, I'm alone. This is Amida, the perfection of compassion and wisdom. Together we become Buddha. So when we gasho and say Namo Amida Butsu, we're saying thank you, thank you, thank you, I am home. Mahalo, thank you, thank you, thank you, I'm not alone. Thank you, I am safe. Thank you, I'm loved. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So sharing the Dharma here at Makuo Honganji has reminded me that saying Namo Amida Butsu is an expression of gratitude. It helps me to reconnect with and truly appreciate compassion and wisdom working in my life. To realign my heart and mind away from self-centeredness, from selfishness, and to live this life in accord with the infinite universe. So the interesting philosophical question is, do I say Namo Amida Butsu because I feel gratitude? Or do I become aware of my gratitude by saying and hearing Namo Amida Butsu? By illuminating the disconnect between little me, so my ideals and who I hope to be, and big me, and my ego self reality with blind passions, attachments, and delusions, it's by illuminating this disconnect that it shows me the raw truth of not who I am, but what I am, and by giving voice to my deepest aspiration to save all beings from suffering. Namo Amida Butsu saves little me from big me, saves me from my ego. I'm still a selfish jerk, but knowing you have a problem is the first step in addressing the problem. So I have no choice but to submit to the other power of Amida and let Amida's great compassion and great wisdom work and move through me. I just have to have faith. I just have to entrust in the compassion of Amida Buddha, one day at a time. I've also learned, and you probably have heard this, me talk about this, Buddhism can be as complicated or as simple as you choose to make it. And I like simple. So Shinran quotes his great teacher Honen as saying, just say the Nembutsu and be saved by Amida. There is nothing else involved. And this morphed into a t-shirt thing that said, just say it. Just say Namo Amida Butsu. This is Honen Shonin's great teaching. Just say it. Just say Namo Amida Butsu. Mainly because to explain Namo Amida Butsu from a doctrinal, officially from a doctrinal perspective, will take about 3 hours. And most people, no, it's too much. It's kind of complicated. So searching for a simpler way, an even simpler way to explain Jodo Shinshu to friends, to my friends and former colleagues who thought I was going off to the mountains to shave my head, become a monk, to abandon Mimi and our son and grandchildren. And I said, well, I got to explain how this works. And the idea just came to me one night. So just say Mahalo, this is where it comes from. So doctrinally, there's a doctrinal basis for this. This is the meaning of Shomyo Hohon, or saying the name in gratitude. And it's the inspiration for this copy line comes from Bishop Eric Matsumoto. And his message is the path of Nembutsu is about responding in gratitude for this unrepeatable life, just the way it is. Just say mahalo. Oops, sorry. So like many ideas, just say mahalo seems a little bit too simplistic, but it contains the key to changing your life. It's easy to say mahalo. It's easy to say thank you when something desirable, something pleasurable, something convenient happens to us. Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And that's why we often forget. And it's why we should say mahalo more often, especially to people who love us the most. It's hard to say mahalo. It's hard to say thank you. It's hard to be grateful when something that is inconvenient or unpleasant or unwanted happens to us. And then we turn to Amida and say, Amida, why me? We think, why me? And then we look around and start blaming other people. It's her fault. It's his fault. It's their fault. When in fact, it's just us. And that's why it's more important to just say mahalo, to express her gratitude, as opposed to finding reasons to be grateful. Just say it. Just say mahalo. Just say thank you. Just say namo amida butsu. So opening your heart, right, to become more mindful of the reasons that you have to be grateful. And this is what changes your outlook and attitude. Right? Opening your heart, not your mind, but opening your heart to the reasons you have to be grateful. It's what changes your mind, changes your outlook, your perspective and attitude. So get into the mahalo habit. Take the mahalo challenge this week. For the next 10 days, just say mahalo 10 times a day. Okay, keep notes on when and where and how you said mahalo 100 times a day. Say thank you 100 times today. And from day one, you may be a little surprised, but you're going to feel happier. You're going to feel more connected to this life. You're going to be surrounded by happier people. It's a mystery. I can't explain it. So when you feel happy, just say mahalo. When you feel sad, just say mahalo. When someone cuts you off on the Haleakala Highway, just say mahalo, you idiot. No, don't say that last part. When friends share a laugh, just say mahalo. Just be grateful. Just say thank you. If a homeless person asks you for a helping hand, share what you have. Share what you have. Just say mahalo. And when you really feel like you want to hate the haters, just say mahalo. Just say mahalo. So the third thing I've learned on my journey so far is you don't need a reason to be grateful. Just say it. Just say mahalo. And if you substitute namo amida butsu for mahalo, then that's the whole point of this Dharma talk. So mahalo for giving me a chance to speak this morning. May your day be filled with aloha. Please join me in Gausha for the wisdom of Reverend Gyomei Kubose. Nembutsu is an expression of gratitude. Nembutsu is a voice that is manifested when the eternal or true life is realized in the individual's life. It is an inner voice of man when the finite and infinite are united, or when subject and object become one. It is a great feeling of gratitude when the ego self disappears and completely becomes one with others. Namo Amida Butsu. The wisdom of Reverend Gyomei Kubose, who lived from 1905 to 2000. You can find this on pages 36 and 37 of Everyday Suchness. And we have a couple copies available for borrowing if you're interested. Namo Amida Butsu.
Let's all mahalo. Let's all chant the Metta Sutra, the Loving Kindness Sutra, together in unison with Reverend Carey.
It's in here somewhere. Hang on. Okay. First slide. May all beings be happy and come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my futures be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Now on.
Reverend Carey will now lead us in gratitude meditation.
So once again, let's sit together quietly for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. If you're able, sit forward in your seat and place both feet flat on the ground. Sit up straight, align your head, neck, shoulders, and back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes halfway so that you're looking both inwardly and outwardly. Just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. In and out. As you breathe in, think of something for which you are grateful. And as you breathe out, just say mahalo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation.
Please remain standing or seated and let us sing the Ondokusan, the hymn of gratitude written by Shinran Shonin, which will be found on the screen or on page 134 of the Red Service book. Please rise for the song. Please remain standing and let us sing the Nembutsu, which will be found on the screen or on page 135 of the Red Service book.
Nembutsu is an expression of gratitude. Nembutsu is a voice that is manifested when the eternal or true life is realized in the individual's life. It is an inner voice of man where the finite and infinite are united, or when subject and object become one. It is a great feeling of gratitude when the ego self disappears and completely becomes one with others. The wisdom of the Reverend Gyomei Kubosen from Everyday Suchness, pages 36 and 37. Namo Buddhaya.
Mahalo. Oh, please be seated. Mahalo for joining our daily sunrise, our daily service today. And are there any announcements?
Frank?
Do I stand?
Yeah, sure.
I won't be here next Sunday. I'm going on a charity swim for it's a little over a mile. And so I'll miss you and wish me luck.
Okay. I don't know if you say break a leg for this sort of thing. Good luck. And if you need sponsors, don't be shy. Just hit everybody. You can swim a mile. That's pretty amazing.
That's the shorts on the swim.
Okay. So now we know there's the story behind the shorts. I'd be happy if I could walk a mile. Okay, I'll just do a couple of quick ones, I think. So nobody else? So next week we'll have Dharma Family Service. I didn't have time to prepare the slides for September. I know I'm going to be traveling one of those weekends. I'd also like to thank everyone for your patience over the past 2 weeks when our granddaughter Melody was here. And I got to be full-time grandfather for a while. And that's when I realized just how hard it is to be full-time grandparents. 10 years old, too much energy. So, because I'm going to be traveling a bit, September, October, and November, we do need guest speakers. We need some guest speakers. And again, the Maui ministers, we're going to be taking turns doing the Sunday service at Kahului Honganji. Their start time is also 9 o'clock in the morning. So we can't, unless we're willing to shift our service to a later time. So, you won't have to listen to me. And we also have, we can do guest Children's Dharma Storytime readers, but you'll have to select the book a week in advance so I can make the slides, etc., etc., etc. So please talk to Sharon. Yep. Also, lay minister's assistance. You can imagine setting up for one of these things takes a bit of time. But if you're really serious about learning more about Buddhism, particularly the practice of Jodo Shinshu, it's a good way to do it. I was going to make a piece of paper for a sign-up sheet, but if you're interested, just let me know, and we'll figure it out. I don't know if I have the Japanese language school thing on the slide. Nope. Saturday morning, Japanese language school is going to restart, hopefully in September, if I can get everything arranged. There'll be beginning, intermediate, and advanced courses. We do have some young people, some children signed up. So we know we have at least one beginner class, that's for sure, and we'll figure it out. So if you're interested in learning some Japanese, let me know. Also, again, I was hoping to make the sign-up sheets, but I'll be restarting meditation in the evenings, and then some workshops and stuff for weekends and other times. So it's coming, it's coming. Now that Melody's not here, I can kind of focus on it. Common hearings open, 8:30 to 5 every day. And I think that's the last one. So everyone is welcome to join us for refreshments and talk story in the social hall. Thank you. Oops, I think I read your slide.
Thank you, Reverend. Yes, everyone is welcome to enjoy refreshments and talk stories, so you may be excused to the social hall. Thank you for coming.
If you read it to the